Hey guys, what is going on? My name's Josh and I'm from the band of Disaffect. And today I'm going to be teaching you how to do a hardcore shout like you heard in the song previous to this clip. So before I can even go about how to do the scream, I have to stress the importance of diaphragm use. Yes, I know, you hear it in every video and it's probably really annoying by now. But it holds truth to any vocal style you do. Really, diaphragm is the most essential part of any type of scream. You can blow your vocal cords out and just lose your voice completely if you don't do this right. So without further ado, let me teach you how to use the diaphragm correctly. Sorry for the angle, but I'm unfortunately going to have to teach you how to use the diaphragm from this angle of the camera. So pretty much, alright, the diaphragm is like right in this section of your stomach. Right in here. And to channel it, imagine you're yelling like, hey! Hey! Notice how this part tightens up. Now, if you could hold it, hey! It stays tight. That's what you want in your shouts. You need to use this part of the diaphragm. Or, yeah, you need to use this diaphragm. It is the most essential part of the scream. I cannot stress that enough. So the next thing I can tell you is this vocal style is a very chesty kind of vocal style. It really all comes from the chest. You feel everything really in the chest. Nothing in the throat really at all. You shouldn't, at least. If you do, you're doing it wrong. But yeah, this is like a really like chest heavy kind of vocal style. So you know when you're doing it right, if you feel like a vibration or like, I don't know really how to explain it. It's kind of like a chest tightness vibration feeling, if that makes any sense at all. Alright, the next tip I can give you. Practice is key. You're not going to get this overnight. Well, okay, most people aren't going to get this overnight. My story of how I learned this was I was in studio, and I had to do a certain line, and I kind of had to talk through the diaphragm and push through, and that was how I achieved my vocal style right in the middle of the studio on accident. Most of you guys that's not going to happen to, but for me, it did, so if it happens to you, kudos. Okay, so how do we actually go about the scream, or the vocal style, you may ask? Well, the first tip I can give you is talk through the diaphragm. What do I mean by that? Pretty much you gotta be like forcing air through your diaphragm as you're talking. So you gotta talk like this! It sounds stupid, but you know what? It's the way, it's actually the foundation of your scream. That's not how you get the distortion, that's how you get the power of it. Without the power, it's just gonna sound stupid, and it's all gonna come from your throat, and it's gonna hurt, and you may have to go to a hospital for broken vocal cords, and nobody wants that. So basically, you should just start practicing talking to yourself through your diaphragm. Now, I wouldn't suggest doing this in public because you're gonna get stared at, and it's gonna be kind of weird. So pretty much, you're just gonna be talking to yourself like, hey, how are you doing? I'm doing great, how about you? Just do stupid shit like that. I know it looks stupid, but trust me, it helps in the long run. Alright, so how to add the chest distortion. It's kind of, the best way I can describe this vocal style is kind of like false chord if it was yelling. If that makes any sense at all. So to add the chest distortion, if you know how to do false chord with the through the chest, like you feel a very wide chest vibration, if that makes any sense at all, that's pretty much how you go about it. So you kind of just want the and then you gotta build up to kind of like that. You gotta get that, and then you force air behind it, and then you get a yeah! Kind of like that. So, like I said, so basically that's how you do the chest distortion. And a great way to get the chest distortion is by doing, if you know false chord, great. If you don't, then you kind of have to learn by the sigh. Kind of like, I mean, granted, you can't really be taught this because it's just a natural body movement and a natural body feeling for the sigh. So I would suggest trying to work on that and trying to figure out what that is before you even try the rest of this, because you need both the talking through the diaphragm and this part to even attempt to try to achieve the scream. So once you got the talking through the diaphragm and you got the chest distortion, now it's time to, sorry, I'm still looking at my notes, add power from the diaphragm. So what do I mean? Okay, so you got the just honestly push it more. So now, you notice when my mouth opened, it sounded louder. That's the trick to this. In order to achieve more power, open the mouth more. It sounds 10 times louder. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. I'm not a biochemist, or whatever, a biologist, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But pretty much to open your vocal range, to make your sound louder, you just gotta open your mouth more. That's it. That's really all there is to it. Alright, now to go from here, you can either go higher or lower. Either way works fine. Pretty much a higher style would kind of be like 100th. He kind of has a little bit of a higher range than I do. So instead of going like a yeah, he goes a yeah. Now to do that, push more from the diaphragm and just go into a slightly higher pitch than normally what you are. So if your voice is here, go about here. Scream about here. That would be great, because then you can get the higher ranges and it will just work out perfectly for you. I promise. Okay, so to go lower from a yeah, you kind of have to do more false chord. And what do I mean by that? Basically, you gotta add more of the chesty, feely vibration stuff. So like a but a kind of like that. Now, what you do is you take that and you take your mid-range scream and you kind of smash them together. So pretty much instead of going like a yeah, you go kind of like who does this? Traders. Perfect example. If you listen to the song The Hate Campaign, he does that sound a lot. A lot. And that's pretty much how I learned how to do that type of low scream. Is I learned from, not directly, but I listened to A Hate Campaign from Traders and just kind of picked it up like that. It's not really that hard. Pretty much the people who do this type of shouting vocal style is like Slipknot, 100th, Knocked Loose, Code Orange Kids, pretty much bands like that, Disaffect even. That was really corny. But we all do that type of vocal style. So if you ever want to learn how to do this vocal style, just listen to those bands. Even bands like Counterparts is the type of people who do this type of scream. So if you want to learn how to do a scream, it's an awesome scream, very powerful, very loud. If you know how to do this, it gives you a very good stage presence. Kind of like if you knew how to deathcore growl really good, like Whitechapel, or even I Declare War. It kind of gives you that, it kind of gives you like a weird kind of, in a sense, like a stage presence. I don't really know how to describe it, but you just kind of feel more powerful on stage, honestly. So I suggest giving it a shot. If you like this video, like down below, and if you had any suggestions or you wanted to comment on something, put it in the comments below. And if you want to see more from me, subscribe. I'm probably going to do a video every Tuesday and Thursday, most likely. So yeah, guys, with that being said, and further ado, I'm out of here. Later, guys.